Greetings, friends and followers. This is Nurses Talking. I am Dale Barzy. As always, if you like what you see and hear, subscribe. Give us a comment. Let us know what you think. Here on Nurses Talking, we speak to nurses anywhere in the world and at any stage in their nursing journey. Today, I have the very great pleasure of welcoming Deborah Kayode out of Nigeria. Deborah is a registered nurse. She describes herself as a telenurse. She says she's a digital health advocate and she's the founder of Converse to Clarity, which she'll explain to us. So, welcome, Deborah.
Thank you, Nizam.
So, first of all, I have a standard question. Firstly, is why people are nurses? So, what brought you to nursing?
Okay. Um, I'll say there was no particular reason initially, right? I just wanted to be in the health sector. I wanted to help people. It's not most people always say passion, 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 but for me it wasn't really passion. I just wanted to be in the health sector. I loved the way they looked back then, the white uniform, the appearance was all appealing. So I wanted to be there, and that was the driving force initially that pushed me into the profession.
Okay, okay. So, you saw people you admired.
Yeah.
When you got into nursing, so was it what you thought it would be?
Mm, no, no. In some terms, it was actually what I imagined, right? Giving people compassion, care, and all of that. It's I saw what I wanted, but maybe after school, what we were told, nurses are you're the hot cake and all of that in the society. It was a far cry from it. So yeah,
Ah, you find that sometimes. So how long have you been a nurse now?
I've been practicing for 3 years, right? Just a short period of
Okay.
time.
So what kind of areas have you worked?
Okay, I've worked in general nursing care, pediatric research. We did a research on this African neonatal sepsis trial. It was a research on antibiotic care and how it was effective in caring for
Mm,
newborns as a research. And then I've worked in the digital space as a telenurse, right, with various facilities. Yes.
yeah. And from what you described, that is what attracts you the most.
Yes.
You say
Yes.
you're interested in how tech meets health and the digital health revolution.
Yeah.
I haven't thought of it as a revolution. I mean,
Yeah. I'm very inquisitive because I'm personally I love tech, right? I love tech even right from when I was much younger. But coming into the nursing field, it didn't look like there was a possibility of tech until the COVID-19 era, where people were forced to come into tech and see how tech could help health because of the lockdown and all of that. So it broadened my quest, my inquisitiveness to know, okay, what is possible there. And since then, I've been, you know, browsing, trying to find out, take up courses, to see how technology can help us offer care and, to people more easily.
yeah, yeah. So I'm going to come back to well, let's do that right now. You see, you founded a brand, Converse to Clarity,
Yes.
right? So tell me about it. First of all, the name intrigues me. Converse to Clarity. How did that come about?
Okay. Well, that came from, remember I told you something that after school, I saw there was this bridge in information. I feel there's this gap we have as nurses. When you graduate from school, you're told you're a hot cake, you're this, you're that, and then you're so excited to graduate, and then let me go apply for these jobs and start working. But you then realize that you're sending in the applications, nothing is coming back in. So there's a bridge. I feel like there's a bridge in communication, that preparation, that readiness of this is how life after school is. So that was what pushed me. I realized that nurses do not have enough information about this career path as it should. School does not prepare us for life after it. School only prepares us for okay, serve the medication, take care of your patient, but they do not really prepare us for life after. So I wanted to be that bridge. I wanted to bring that information. And how I wanted to do it was by giving information, by conversing with people, talking to people, and giving them clarity. So we move from a position of doubts to clarity, from stuck to sure, and from confusion to clarity.
All right. Well, that's clear. That's clear. Okay. So, and that's how you became a clarity coach. All right. So you talked about nursing school not exactly preparing you for life after, right? What other aspects, if any others, of nursing do you think you'd like to see change?
Um, that aside, I feel professional development, personal development for nurses, because a lot of nurses just focus on let's give care. If there can be an involvement where nurses beyond the continuous educations for, okay, you have to take these courses because you want to renew your license, right? If there can be a way nurses can be helped to develop themselves even beyond the bedside, right? Beyond the day-to-day hospital environment care. I think I'd love to see something where nurses become not just those at the bedside, they become stakeholders, they are part of innovations that relate to healthcare, right?
Okay. Okay. Big vision. Big vision.
Thank you.
So then, this is what you would like to see. If you were to project forward maybe another 10 years, where do you think you see us then on that particular continuum?
Where do I see nurses?
Mhm.
Or,
Yeah, where do you see
well,
nurses and nursing? Along the lines you're thinking, how far along do you think we'll be?
okay, in the next 10 years, well, I feel nurses will be way further than where we are now, right? Because a lot of nurses are beginning to gain clarity. A
Mhm.
lot of nurses are beginning to gain knowledge that there's more. So in the next 10 years, I see nurses becoming innovators, owners of hospitals, building things, becoming owners of in fact major stakeholders in many places, because for so long we've been, stepped on, let me use that word, put behind. But I see a lot of nurses coming to light, and I believe together we'll come to the big spotlight in the next 10 years.
Yeah. And we are I think one of the things you said, one of your interests is telling us in the digital thing, and you talked about how COVID really opened up that space. And
Yeah,
one of the ways it did that actually was to make us realize that the physical barriers, of distance and land and all of that don't really hold us in. I mean, we're a global force. So it's and I noticed that we are moving along actually pretty much globally. I see as I speak to people in different places, we have the same, we're all getting the same mindset and the same ideas of how we should move along. So that works for me.
great.
So I have another question then. So you're a recent grad. From my perspective, you're a recent grad. You've worked in a few different areas. You have ideas of what you'd like to see and how you'd like, and you've made inroads into how you'd like to see, of bringing what you'd like to see to reality. So, what advice then do you think you'd give to someone who wants to be a nurse?
Okay, who wants to be a nurse? Well, my advice to that person will be to go for it, right? um shun whatever people will say, go for it, and then be ready, because nursing is not just about I want to be a nurse. There must be a determination, interest, because that's what keeps you running along the way. So I'll say the person should be passionate, interested, and willing to, take up whatever comes with it. Yes, because it's easier said than done.
You need to be, because here is the thing, nursing will challenge you every
Yeah.
single day.
Mm.
It will challenge you. So, what I have another question here, right, that comes to my mind, or I always ask when I speak to nurses, is talking about self-care. One of the things that I come across globally is, a lack of self-care and the prevalence of burnout and discontent at times. So, questions for you. Number one, what does self-care mean to you? And what do you do to care for you?
Okay, for me, self care is simply any way I can, unwind and rejuvenate, feel better because, and I think it's very paramount, especially as nurses. We work, 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 and in the end, we even forget that we should eat. We forget that we should rest. Whereas we are telling our patients, make sure you rest, ma'am. Make sure you eat. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. So, I prioritize self care a lot because I feel I can't give from an empty cup, right? I need to take care of myself. And ways I help myself, right, in self care is to always I always maximize my break times, right? I make sure I'm doing nothing other than eating, resting, maybe watching some videos to just unwind. I just take my mind off the environment. And even when I get back home, my rest days, my off days, I maximize it to really, really rest because it's crucial.
Okay. Okay. Definitely is crucial. I mean, I don't think we can stress it enough. And I don't know where how we got to the place where we're in a caring profession.
Yeah.
Um, and it would seem like that we would be the ones to care for us. So I was knowing very well what happens if we don't. And yet we don't. It seems kind of
Honest.
weird. It seems kind of
Yeah.
weird to me that we tend to behave that way. And some of it, I think, comes from the way we're educated, actually, because our education focuses not on us, and doesn't have to focus directly on us, but none of it, at least in when I was
Involve
educated,
us.
none of it had anything to do with me taking care of me. No one mentions anything about, listen, you have to take care of you if you want to take care of these other people.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah,
Very true.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and so you always have to figure out what that means for each of us because it means different things to different people. So I have one last question. I've been trying to collect these words about nurses, and so I ask if you could tell me what you think of as the most essential quality of a nurse in just one word, what would that be?
I think compassion beats it.
Compassion, compassion.
Yeah.
Do you that word comes up a lot. Lots of people say compassion. Um, One of the things I found, I'm pretty much retired. But in talking to nurses and assessing this and that word coming up so frequently, I had to think back about that word compassion because we extend compassion very frequently all the time to our residents without even thinking about it. Um, One of the things, though, that when I ask nurses what they would like to see change, one of the things that comes up frequently is the way we treat each other. And so what that tells me is that we don't really extend that same compassion to ourselves and our colleagues. And so I'm wondering if you find the same thing now as a new nurse, and how do you think we can change that?
I think we can change that if the older colleagues, right, see the younger ones as maybe a means to learn, right, rather than just saying, "Oh, these are my junior colleagues." If we can treat them better by saying, "Oh, for example, I have a senior colleague who she's pretty much older than us, but she always feels, oh, you're the younger generation. I know your method of learning is different. What is the new way of doing this, right? She and the respect is mutual because we tell her, oh, this is how we were taught. She takes it in, and then we find her some, oh, we should respect this person because she's open to learning always. So I feel one way we can bridge that is when the senior colleagues do not look down on us and feel these people are just coming, you don't know nothing, you don't know anything, whereas we're coming with maybe a new form of knowledge. It's still the same nursing, but maybe rebranded better or rebranded in a better way to suit maybe the current evolution and all of that. So I feel if we can see each other as team, it's a group, a team, I think it will help better than just that hierarchy and all of that.
Well, that like, I agree with you there. I agree with you there. But I also think that that works. That works both ways. As she's willing to learn from you, and you are willing to learn from her. Um, because there's two things there. As you say, nursing is constantly evolving. Healthcare, forget nursing part of it, is constantly evolving. So many things come on board so very quickly. Um, and then sometimes, even with all these changes, practically, the practical thing of getting stuff done or getting it across or getting this done, maybe sometimes you have to merge the old and the new to function in a practical and effective way. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, Deborah, are there any last words you'd like to leave us with before we go?
Okay. Yes. I would say one, nurses should be learn to balance life, right, and work. Because I feel this is something we miss a whole lot. And then after a long period of time, we hear people say something. I hear a lot of retired nurses saying, I've worked and worked all my life. Look at me. So I feel if we all can balance life and work, try to, it may not be easy. The work might be overwhelming and all of that, but at the little periods we have, we could, prioritize self care, take care of ourselves, take ourselves out. We may not have all the money, but if we could save up to go for a little vacation or whatever, just to balance life so that we have a life outside our workplace, I think it will really help us.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is huge. Just remembering to take care of ourselves, to focus on ourselves. Yeah, that is huge.
Yeah,
So thank you
thank
very
you.
much for that.
You're
Deborah,
welcome.
thank you so very much for this conversation. I truly appreciate it. And I
Thank you
wish you
so
lots of
much.
success with Converse to Clarity.
Thank you so much.
Because you're correct. We do need to sometimes, gain clarity. And having someone guiding you there is huge. So thank you for that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.